Muay Thai resort in Pattaya. And I did not know this, but in May 2006, it was probably the most majestic royal kingdom day in our lifetime. May 2006. I know all you guys know about this, right? Outside of Thailand, we don't have a clue. May 2006, the King of Thailand was celebrating his 60-year reign. He is the longest reigning king in world history. And he owns the Thai people's hearts. So he is the greatest example of true kingship, where people just adore, worship, and really honor and show respect to this king. So me, an American, I don't know about kingdomship, let alone the king. Bless you, Daniel, brother. Have a safe trip back. He's going back to Italy. But I knew something was going on in Bangkok, and I'm in Pattaya. So I found out that royalty from all over the world was in Bangkok. Royalty from Africa, from Saudi Arabia, from England, from Switzerland, all these other countries, any country that has royalty left in them, came to Bangkok. So to say the least, Bangkok was a zoo. There was military, police, everybody was in Bangkok. And it was just a crazy time. So I'm like, all I knew about it was, I was like, I'm glad I'm not in Bangkok. Because you can't drive, there's all kinds of people. And several of these pictures, especially the king waving, and then the sea of yellow t-shirts, was all a part of that celebration. Well, during the climax of that celebration in May 2006, I was in it was a Marriott mall. It's the biggest mall in Pattaya, and I'm looking for a Sony camcorder hard drive. Because I'm sick of all the tapes and CDs that breaks. I want the hard drive that goes right into the computer. And some of you do not know what I'm talking about, but it's okay. So I'm looking at this camcorder, and a lady boy's helping me, because the lady boys usually speak English really well. And we're trying to figure this thing out. And then all of a sudden, the lady boy grabs my arm and says, "Come on, come on, let's go see the king." And so the first thing that came in my mind was, the king's in Bangkok, we're in Pattaya, so how am I going to go see the king? But he takes me out, and he starts escorting me towards kind of the front part of the mall. And I look around, and everybody is leaving their stores to go to the front part of this mall. Now, I don't know about you, but in America, the people that work in the stores in the mall would never leave them. So I was in the front wave of these people, and I'm like, where am I going? Okay, I'm just letting the lady boy lead me, which might be scary. And then so we come to a big screen TV store. So I see what's going to happen. So at that time, Thailand has about 5 TV stations, and every TV is showing this event of the King of Thailand and the climax of this celebration. So I was like, wow, okay, this is cool, you know, I can watch this. You know, let's watch the king on TV. Well, it went pretty long, because in Thailand, they just love to do things. It's not about schedule, it's about the event. Okay, it's about the thing happening. And I'm going to tell you what happened. Oh, perfect timing. Look at that. That is what the king is going to do. Okay, because I was wondering, you know, in my American mind, what is the king going to do? What is he going to do? That was all he was going to do, is wave. So this is the #1 picture in Thailand right now. So, one way that I describe this is like a football game. You know, they had cameras 10 yards, 20, 50, 100 yards out. There's cameras everywhere filming that the king is going to wave to Thailand. And so all of Thailand is watching this. And now I'm bored, you know, like, what's going on? But at that time, I also didn't realize that the king had a stroke a couple years earlier. And he had been trying to be healthy so he could step up from his throne himself and walk to the balcony by himself and wave to his people. So I'm waiting for him to get up and go do this. You know, I didn't know what he was going to do. So he gets up, and the Thai people around me are getting excited. They're like, wow, the king stood up. Like, what's going on? So he's walking to the balcony, and everyone's excited. And then he gets to the balcony and looks over the sea of people. There are so many people in Bangkok. You cannot drive. It is filled to the max of people. And so the lady boy, he grabs my arm and he goes, oh, look, the king's going to wave hi to us. I look at him and I'm like, the king's never waved hi to you guys before? No, like, this was something new. But again, I wasn't aware of this peak celebration and how much this meant. And he'd been reigning for 60 years. So it was even a miracle for him to even do that. So he gets up there and he finally waves. And everybody starts crying. I've done this testimony a lot of times. And I still feel that time. So everyone's crying. And then the elder Thais get into a high Y position, which means they're on their face. They will not look at the king. They put their Y up high to show him honor and respect. And then this position is not even in the English language. So we don't even have a word for it. And it's like the person is telling the king, rule and reign over my life. So they show on TV, the elder people just get out, and everyone's just weeping and wailing and crying, and I'm crying, and the people around, the other frogs around me are crying. We don't even know why we're crying. We're just going this moment. At that moment, I felt majesty. I felt royalty. I felt kingdom authority. And I don't have any clue about that. And then God shows up, starts talking to me. Holy Spirit starts telling me, Danny. People intimate with me calls me Danny. You guys can call me Danny. He says, Danny, hey, see how the Thai people worship their king? And I said, yeah, it's absolutely amazing. I know nothing about this. And then he said, do you worship your King of Kings like these Thai people worship their king? And I say I do. I sing some good songs about it. There's many worship songs that talk about his king and his majesty. But that day, I learned something. Again, American missionaries or even Western missionaries go to other places. And we're here to teach the people about God. You know, we're here to teach people. And the Thai people taught me about my God. Something that I will never forget. So that was May 2006. 3 years later, I had another vision. May 2009. And Mr. Ed, I'm going to use you as an illustration. I know how you just love and support me and will do anything for me.